Recon here, and I have started the pre-trip guest room gear explosion. And as you can see, I've got stuff kind of piled up everywhere. I've got a bin down here. This is where I keep a lot of my gear. This is the guest room closet, and it's all lives in here, along with a bunch of other junk. So anyway, I wanted to start this video because what I'm doing is setting aside my winter gear. I figure that once I am down to Southern Virginia or perhaps Northern North Carolina before the Smokies, it may be well into late October or November, and I will probably need to swap out some gear. I'm starting with a 30-degree quilt. We'll talk about that when I do my gear video talking about what I'm going with. But this is stuff that I want to set aside because I probably will have to swap out some gear when it gets cold down south. And I'm going to ask my wife to either drive it to me or mail it to me. And I don't want her to have to be digging around in the guest room closet to try to find some arcane piece of junk down at the very bottom. So what I've done is I've set out my winter gear, and then she can just pack that up and send it to me. So we'll go over it real quick here. First off, I'm starting with a 30-degree quilt, but I have a 5-degree Western Mountaineering sleeping bag, and I have a 20-degree sleeping bag. I will swap to one of those, and which one I swap to is going to depend on how late in the season it is and what kind of temperatures I expect. But I don't think that I'm going to be finishing with a 30-degree quilt. It'll probably be too cold. This is my Gossamer Gear Mariposa 60-liter pack. It's pretty beat up. I've done a lot of trips with it. Because neither of these sleeping bags will fit into my 36-liter Kumo that I'm starting the trip with, I'm actually going to have to go with my larger 60-liter pack. So that's why this is out. This is just a Reflectix Cozy for my water bottle. This goes over a smart water bottle and is really effective at keeping them from freezing overnight. These are Goose Feet gear, down booties. These are great to sleep in and keep my feet warm at night. This is a Neo Air X Therm. I'll be carrying a Neo Air X Lite. I think it's R 4.2. The X Therm has a R value greater than 6. So when I switch out to a warmer sleeping bag, I will go to a warmer pad as well. This is a Mass Drop Veil wind shirt. I don't think they make these anymore. It weighs like 1.5 ounces. I really like it because on cold, windy days, it's great for hiking. It breathes much better than a rain jacket does, and it cuts the wind. And down here, I have REI Gore-Tex Basic Mittens, and then REI Power Stretch Fleece Gloves. The mittens over the gloves is actually a really good combination. It breathes well. It keeps my hand warm. I've done it down to the high teens while I'm hiking and quite comfortable. Catula Micro Spikes. I just don't know what's going to be going on. If I'm hitting the Smokies and they're having less snow or there's already ice, I might need the micro spikes. This is a dry fit Nike zip turtleneck long sleeve. This is my favorite winter hiking shirt. It breathes really well and is great under the wind shirt for hiking on cold days. And then last but not least, this is my sleeping base layer. So I'll be starting out with a very thin, light, synthetic base layer to sleep in. And then once I get to the cold weather, I'm going to swap out for this Smartwool 250 weight merino base layer. I always sleep in some base layer. I just can't stand the feeling of the nylon on my skin. And it's going to be cold, so I'll use the merino. So that's it. Basically, I'm going to stuff all of this, except for the sleeping bags, into that Mariposa right there. And then I've labeled the sleeping bags for my wife, so I can say, send me the 20-degree or send me the 5-degree. And then the sleeping bag and the backpack will go into a box and get shipped to me, or if I'm still close enough to home here in Virginia, she can just drive it down to me. And that is it. So I'm going to put this stuff away, and then I will be doing a video in the next week or two with my actual starting load. And for now, Recon out.